Hello gamers! Welcome to my channel. In this episode, we will discuss pilotless autopilot ships. This design is my Cloud class supply ship. Those of you who watch my Let's Play videos, you may be familiar with this ship because we build this quite frequently in order to accompany our fleets to longer distance locations. This ship is designed with the bare necessities. Just enough lift to get it off the ground and maybe just high enough to go over a Ritz cracker with a service ceiling of 0 meters, but it's really fast, pretty fast at 105 kilometers per hour. It only has 3 crew, and the 3 crew are manning two are manning the lateen sail and 1 is manning the top sail. Importantly, there's no cockpit on this ship. There's no bridge. So it's really on autopilot. It just escorts our ships and gives them supply so that they can go longer distances, but it has no role in the tactical combat. We always just reserve the ship in the tactical combat. And in this episode, I was thinking to myself, when I was designing the ship and how we use the ship, I think to myself, can we build a pilotless ship that is useful on the battlefield? And today we're going to seek to answer that question. First, I think the role. Obviously, I think the role matters here. A brawler type ship needs to have a cockpit or a bridge. Same with a bomber or a submarine. Anything that requires movement on the tactical battlefield will require a cockpit at the very least, if not a bridge. But I wonder if there is a design we can make that is a long-range fire support ship. Something that just sits on the edge of the tactical map, on the far edge, and just fires away from long distance. So to answer that question and to test it out, I am going with this ship, the Mark IV. This is a sort of a test design that I haven't really used in any of my gameplay or campaigns yet, just because I'm still tweaking around with it. But basically, it's a ballista spam ship that's really just 8 ballistas with a sail and some suspendium tanks with some ammo stores, with the whole idea of sitting it on the far left-hand side of the map, or the far side of the map, and just having it spit ballista arrows at enemy ships and enemy buildings. This one does have a cockpit right here at the top, and I've decided maybe what we'll do is we will actually take the cockpit out. We'll put a strut there instead, or maybe a solid shape, but we'll put a strut there. And in its place, why don't we get, because now that we have 1 extra crew, let's use that extra crew to give us another ballista. And we will call this the Ballista Mark IV test with no cockpit. And now, with that in mind, let's test this. So we're going to have one design with a cockpit and another without, but with an extra ballista. And we're going to see how they do in combat. So we'll go with desert day. A couple rocks here. Well, let's just remove the rocks. Oh, still one more. How long will it take? Okay, doesn't look like there are any rocks here. Let us add buildings. We've been testing with Keep of the Crows, 3 of them, and we might as well do the same here. Oh, what happened? Okay, you know what, we'll just put it here. Okay, 3 of them. I think our ballistas will probably have some difficulty. And I kind of want to use 2 ballistas to test it. And the reason why is because the cockpit one will be able to issue at least 2 commands, right? We can issue a command for aim fire, since it's a long distance. And we can also issue a command to focus fire, to concentrate fire, which may help to eliminate these buildings a little sooner. So those are 2 benefits that I can think of that are provided by using a cockpit versus not. And so in order to test that design, especially the focus fire one, you really need 2 of these ships to at the very least try it out. So we're going to hit start. I'll pause briefly. We'll start with aim fire. I'm going to go speed it up just a tiny bit. And then we'll pause again just to target the first building. Let's say this one right here. We'll unpause and we'll speed it up. We'll just see how they do. Our ballistas are taking some damage here. Alright, first tower looks like it's pretty much gone, or at least its effectiveness is definitely hindered. So we'll now target the second tower. One ballista is sort of down. The second tower is pretty damaged. I'm taken down, so we can now focus on the third. Second tower is done. And now the last one remains, and I think that's a victory. Alright, and let's take a look at the combat stats. So, we damage dealt 11,250, damage taken 8,262. So, okay, 11,250 and 8,262. Okay, now let's try that again, but this time without a cockpit. Should I get a map without a suspendium rock? Okay, this looks good. Add building. We'll do the Cube of Crows again. Add 3. Then we will add our Ballista Mark IV test with no cockpit. Add. And now we'll start. So with no cockpit, we have absolutely no way to command at all. Can't turn, can't move the ship, can't direct it to either aim fire or rapid fire or normal fire, and definitely cannot have it concentrate fire. So let's go ahead and speed this up. There's not really much to do here except watch what happens. Well, that sounds like a big boom. Well, one of our ballistas is sort of down. Second ballista is taking some damage. And now they're on top of each other. Did they stop firing? Looks like it. Is it just because they can't... There's no arc or something? Or we're not in the firing arc? Maybe. Alright. Let's look at the combat stats. Damage dealt was 9,720. Damage is 8,637. So I think there's at least a 20% loss of performance, or at least 10 to 15% loss of performance by not having a cockpit. Even though we have an extra ballista on each of the ships, I think it's pretty easy to see that the pilotless ships were outperformed by the ones with the cockpit. So given the two, I would definitely say go with let's make sure we have pilots in on our combat ships. Yeah, I think pilotless ships, the only role that they would be good for, or autopilot ships, I guess you would call them, are as supply cargo ships, and they don't really have a role in the combat tactical map. So with that, I think we can just conclude that cockpits and bridges are useful. I know that's simple, but we tested it, and it looks to me like there's definitely like a 10 to 15% decrease in performance if you don't have a cockpit and just add an extra weapon. It doesn't appear to be better. So I think we'll end this episode here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please hit the like button, comment, or subscribe. See you in the next one, and keep on gaming.